Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Trump Tower from Tilted Towers, which is of course from the game Fortnite. If you enjoyed this tutorial, all I ask is that you please hit that like button as it helps me and the channel out very, very much. And if you do enjoy this video enough to make it, please share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. Without any further ado, this is a really long tutorial. Let's get started. Before we begin, I just want to tell you a few things that you might find handy. Number one, these are all of the materials that we're going to be using to make Trump Tower. So make sure that you actually have access to all of these. And not only that, here right now on the screen is an itemized list of how many of those you are going to need roughly to complete the build. So make sure that you have enough of those materials to actually make it. And last but not least, the amount of space you require is about 37 blocks by about a 30 block area on the ground to actually make the tower. So make sure that you've got enough space. So pause the video if necessary, make sure that you have all the stuff, enough of it, and enough space to make it. And once you've got all that sorted out, ladies and gentlemen, we can begin. Okay, so to start off, if you have made this grid in your world, you want to start on the front left-hand corner of said grid, which is right here. And you want to place a smooth sandstone. Place a smooth sandstone to the right of that, and then 5 green concrete going right of that row, simply behind the 2 sandstones. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's something that we're going to be doing a lot. We now want to place 2 smooth sandstone going to the right in front of the green. 1, 2. And then 5 more green going right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 more smooth sandstone going right in front. 1, 2. And then 5 more green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more smooth sandstone in front going right. 1, 2. And now we're going to switch this up a bit because we're going to be placing 5 sandstone going right behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to place 2 more smooth sandstone to the right in front. 1, 2. And the end result should be this. Now once you have successfully completed that, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to continue your journey by going behind the last sandstone block that you placed and place a sandstone behind it. And then place 5 smooth sandstone inwards to the right of that smooth sandstone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then place a single smooth sandstone in front of and to the right. Take a view very much like this, so you're looking towards the back of the build. And then you want to place another row of 5 smooth sandstone to the right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to place 2 smooth sandstone to the right in front. Switch the view up a little bit. And then we want to continue going right of the smooth sandstone. And we want to place a smooth sandstone going right, then place a green concrete right and behind, extend the green concrete upwards by 3, 1, 2, 3, right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down to the ground. I want you to place 2 smooth sandstone to the right and in front of the green, with 5 more right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more right and in front. 5 more right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 more right and in front. Then we're going to switch up this view again. So now what we want to do from here is we want to take this block and extend it to the right by 1. And then place 5 going right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 right and in front. 1, 2. grab the green concrete and place one right and behind. Extend up by 3, 1, 2, 3. Right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then connect down. We then want to place 2 smooth sandstone right and in front, 1, 2. 5 right and behind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 right and in front. And then, switching it up again, we're going to use light grey this time, and place 1 right and behind. Extend upwards by 3, 1, 2, 3. Right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And hit the ground. Grab the smooth sandstone and place 2 right and in front, and then switch up the view again so we're looking back on ourselves. I want you to extend the sandstone inwards 1, then place 5 smooth sandstone right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then place a single smooth sandstone right and in front. Take a different view looking back towards the front of the build, and place yourself 7 smooth sandstone right and in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look back on yourself again, and we now want to place a light grey concrete right and behind. Extend that up by 3, 1, 2, 3. And then right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hit the ground. Then place 2 smooth sandstone right and in front. Then place 5 green concrete right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 smooth sandstone right and in front. 5 green concrete right and behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a smooth sandstone to connect everything back together. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once you have that complete, we have quite a large floor plan. That's right, that is quite a sizable floor plan right there. Now, once you have got that sorted out, our job is not complete. We have a lot of detail to add from this point onwards. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is I want you to extend every single sandstone block upwards by 9. I know, that's a lot, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just like that. Take every single one and extend it upwards. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing all the way around. As a side note, I also wouldn't bother counting out the rows over and over and over and over again. Make sure that one row is 100% dead certain, 9 blocks high, and then just add that everywhere. And what I mean to say is just make sure that all of the rows are as high as the one that you know is the right height. That's a much better way of saying it. Why am I so confusing? There we are. So that is exactly what you want to accomplish. Once that has been done, however, we have a few more details to add. So on the front of the building, which is this side with the 3 rows of green concrete at the base, we are going to take the ends of the rows of green concrete and extend them up each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, so on and so forth. Connect them together at the top. Fill those in using black stained glass pane. What I then want you to do is above the green concrete, I want you to place this pattern: white concrete, red, white, red, white, so on and so forth on top of each one of the windows. I should clarify that the pattern wants to begin again for each individual window. It doesn't want to continue across. We're now going to extend that pattern one row in front, like that, and then we want to extend that in front and down. So one row in front, one row down in front of the windows. We want to have that pattern. Like this. Now above all of those windows, I want you to place an entire row of smooth sandstone. Like that. Then place green concrete above and behind the smooth sandstone that you have just placed. Then we have to do this for every single instance, by the way. You want to raise up the two ends of the green concrete for each window by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend them in, up, and then in again. And then you will have a very circular looking window. Well, kind of not circular, but it is the shape that you want. You want to do this in every single case. And as a matter of fact, if you remember how to make this window, we are going to be using it quite a bit, as quite a lot of the window spaces around this particular building does have this exact same pattern, like this. What we also want to do is extend in the smooth sandstone towards the tops of each one of the window spaces like this, so that it covers up the empty space around the tops of the windows. I'm also going to fill in each one of the 3 empty window spaces with black stained glass pane. Feel free to use a completely different material if you so choose. However, this one is what I'm going to be using because I think it kind of contrasts quite nicely with especially the bottom part of the building itself. Like this. Okay, once that has been completed, I want you to work your way all the way over to this side of the building, which is of course the right hand side of the building. So, first of all, we're going to add black stained glass pane inside of the left and right sides of the door. We're then going to place a row of smooth sandstone above the door horizontally that also continues throughout all of the remaining pillars on this side. We are also going to build the same window over there, over here. So that's going to be a green concrete above and behind this sandstone row, and you can extend that green concrete all the way across, by the way, deleting the sandstone that comes into its path as you come towards the back. And it's kind of important that you do because we are going to be installing some windows where we have placed sandstone. So I want you to raise up this left concrete and this right concrete by 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Extend in, and then up, and then in again. And then we're going to place black stained glass pane inside of the window. Now, you guys know well enough that we don't just have to do this to this particular window in particular. we kind of got to do it to these two windows as well. The only difference is that this time we actually have to destroy the sandstone that's in the way. However, that's perfectly fine, as it's not too much destroying. Like that. Now all we have to do is place some smooth sandstone in the corners, just so that it doesn't look a little bit weird. That's pretty much the only entire point to doing that. There we are. If you like, what you can do, by the way, is you can even place on this side, not the front, but you can connect these together using sandstone slab if you like at the top to make it makes it look a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. So says me. Okay, now let's swing towards the back here. So on the back, similar sort of situation here, where we have this green door. We want to have glass pane running up the left and right hand side of it. And then we're going to have a row of sandstone directly above it. And then a green window above that. Now, I'm not going to teach you how to do the window again because we've made, I think, at least 6 of them. So you want to make the same window that we've been making this entire time that we have been building. And it's the same methodology as well. What I mean by methodology is we want to have the exact same window with all of the same chiseled sandstone, with all of the glass, all of it, all the same. And you want to continue that row of smooth sandstone that we have here through the build, coming towards the left here. And we are also going to be placing another window inside of this empty space as well. So that does mean excavating a little bit of sandstone, but I didn't think that you guys would mind too much digging, and it made the tutorial quite a bit easier than it would have been if we didn't just extend up all of the sandstone in one go anyway. There we are. It's also worth mentioning that you can indeed connect all of the top together using some sandstone slabs. Now on this opposite side here, we once again, where we have this light grey door, we want to place glass pane inside of the left and right side of the door. We're going to place smooth sandstone above the door. And then what's different this time is the fact that we are only going to completely fill in. We're going to completely fill this in using smooth sandstone, the upper point. But the smooth sandstone is going to be set one row inwards. So there's not anything above this door in particular. So if you were to look at it, this is kind of what you want to look at. And not only that, you also want to kind of arch it a bit by placing smooth sandstone in the top corners. And then sandstone slab in between. And you can place sandstone slab as well, like across the entire side. Just make sure that yours looks like that. It should be fairly easy to do, hopefully. Anyways, once you've got that taken care of, we have a little bit to do on this side right here. So on this side, what we're going to do is place a smooth sandstone, in this part particular, smooth sandstone in the 2 corners. And then we're going to place grey concrete in between the smooth sandstone, but behind. Guys, what we're doing is we're making a window. Let's get to the point here. We're making the exact same window that we have made quite a few times already. And the only difference is right here is the fact that we're using light grey concrete. That's pretty much that. So same window, light grey concrete, that's all you gotta know. And actually this window actually shouldn't be filled in, to be honest, because you can get in and out of this window on the actual game itself. So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to place some sandstone slab and I'm going to leave that window as is. Let's not disturb the piece here. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Okay then, so the next thing that we're going to do, once you have got that taken care of, is this side. This is where all of the remaining detail is. So I'm going to start off by placing a row of I'll start off by placing glass pane left and right of the entrance that we have right here. And then I'm going to place a row of smooth sandstone above the door, moving through towards the front of the building. like this. So it's kind of halving the building a little bit. And then we're going to place green concrete around the insides of these empty spaces that we now have that are windows. So green concrete all the way around here, just like this. And whilst I am calling them windows, they also want to be filled in as well, using black stained glass pane. There we are. And then the parts just up above, what we're actually going to do is connect them all together. We're going to connect the sandstone at the top all together like this. That was weird. We're going to add a sandstone in each one of the corners of these sort of like window areas in particular. Like that. And then all we're going to do is we're just going to fill them in from behind using the sandstone. And that's all we're going to do. We just want them to be nice blank sandstony areas. There we go. So now that you have done that, we can actually move on to the next part of the build, because we have applied a lot of detail to the lower part of the building right now. That's quite a bit. So the next thing I want you to do is grab these stone bricks, okay? I want you to grab the stone bricks and I want you to work your way to this point right here. In particular, this point's very important. So in particular, I want you to place a stone brick right here. But that's not all. I also want you to come all the way over to this point in the build also and place a stone brick there. Now, I want you to connect these together. It's quite easy to do this side because all you have to do is place a row of stone bricks coming all the way across the right side of the build and then coming across the back to make a right angle. The other part of this is slightly more tricky as we have to make them meet in the middle. So whether you do this from this side or the other side, you basically want to extend one block forwards and then the opposite block across to make a rather large rectangle. So it should be fairly easy to do once it's been done. You should end up with something that should look exactly like this. As you can see, we now have a rather large rectangular shape made out of stone bricks. Now, once you have got that complete, ladies and gentlemen, we can now move on to the next little part. So for the next part, I want you to grab your light grey concrete. And on the front of the building, I want you to place a light grey concrete specifically on this block. I want you to then extend the light grey concrete backwards to hit the row of stone bricks. And also extend that same light grey across to the left. It wants to sit directly on top of the sandstone of the building. And then extend that light grey concrete backwards, still riding on top of the sandstone. And then extend it inwards to connect to the top of the building. We're then going to place a row of stone slabs. The row of stone slabs are going to be positioned in two places. Number one, half a row above the light grey concrete, and number two, directly in front of the lower half of the light grey concrete. So these want to be placed all the way around the light grey that we've just placed. So now we have placed our stone slabs and our light grey around the top of the building. It looks a lot nicer like this. The next thing I'm going to do, because I don't think I'll need it for quite a while, is I'm going to dump the green concrete and grab black concrete. I'm going to fill in the inside of the shape that we have just kind of made by placing the row of light grey and the row of stone bricks. I'm going to completely fill this area in using black concrete, as this is a roof area and is accessible via the windows and other things like that. And of course you could just build your way up here and actually walk on it. But the point is to fill this large L-shaped area in. like that. Now, once that has been completed, ladies and gentlemen, we can now move on to the next part. Grab the stone bricks and come to the front left-hand corner of where we place the large stone brick area. So, right here. I want you to place a stone brick. And this next part's slightly tricky, by the way. And as a matter of fact, what you can do, and I'm making it more difficult, on top of this row, this stone brick, we want to make the row 25 blocks in total high. So that would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Coming all the way up from that block. 25 blocks in total. Destroy that very first block that you ever placed and then replace it with a row of 25. And on the ground next to this row, I want you to place another stone brick. Leave a gap of 2. Place a stone brick. Gap of 2. Place 2 stone bricks. Leave a gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 stone bricks. Do make sure that that is a gap of 5. If you have to, use something to count it out. If you have to. Then, from these last 2 stone bricks that we placed, we are going to leave a gap of 2. 1, 2. Place a stone brick. Leave a gap of 2. 1, 2. Place 2 stone bricks. 1, 2. What we then want to do is slightly tricky. So we want to turn on our side now. Looking back at what we've just made, we want to place a stone brick. And then leave a gap of 5. I'm going to use red concrete to count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place 2 more stone bricks. 1, 2. 5 more gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 stone bricks. 5 more gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 more stone bricks. And then coming across the back of the build, from the last stone brick that we ever just placed, we want to place a stone brick going right. Leave a gap of 2. Stone brick. Gap of 2. 2 stone bricks. Then leave a gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 stone bricks. Gap of 2. Stone brick. Gap of 2. 2 stone bricks. We're going to turn on our sides again, and this time we're going to place a stone brick going right, then a gap of 5 stone bricks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to place 2 stone bricks, 1, 2, and then a gap of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 stone bricks, and then once more a gap of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stone brick. So the pattern that we have created should look very much like this. Now what we're going to do from here is we are going to take all of those stone bricks that we have placed that are sticking upwards. We are going to extend all of them all the way up to be as high as the original row of 25. So that's exactly what I would like all of you guys to do. Make them as high as that original row of 25, and then we can start talking about all sorts of other details. There we are. So that is what we want to have so far. That is a lot of stone bricks completely raised up as high as we need them. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to extend up this right side as well. Now, this right side actually isn't as high as the side that we have just done ourselves, but it is still rather large. So, we are going to start on this front left-hand corner right here, and we even have to kind of divide it up a little bit as well. But we're going to start off by raising up this corner by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want you to place a row of stone bricks coming inwards to the left from that row, but also right of that row as well. Like that. And then, starting from the bottom here, we're going to leave a gap of 2 going right, and then we're going to place another stone brick. Leave a gap of 2, 2 stone bricks, gap of 2, stone brick, gap of 2, 2 stone bricks, gap of 2, stone brick, gap of 2, 2 stone bricks. Turn back on yourself, looking towards the front of the building now, and then we're going to place a stone brick, and then that's that. What we now want to do, however, is make all of those stone bricks as high as the rest of the stone bricks that we have just placed. So let's do exactly like that. Let's make them as high as the ones that we have just placed. So on this side of the building in particular, and especially just on this lower area right here, we have a fair amount of detail. So let me show you how this detail works. What we do to one of these gaps, these 2 block gaps, and we have 6 of them, we do to all of them, by the way. So on the inside of the bottom, we want to start off with 2 rows of stone bricks that are 1 row inside. So very much like this. So from the outside looking in, we've got a 2 by 2 square. And then we want to have 2 rows of light grey concrete on top. 1, 2. Place stone slabs in front of the bottom and the top light grey concrete. We're then going to, on the outer slabs, place 3 rows of glass. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And that is all you want to do. And we are going to do this to all of these. So basically what you have just done right there, we want to do to absolutely every single one of these gaps. There we are. And you know what? Silly me, we have actually raised these stone bricks up 1 row higher than we should have, so I'm just going to shave a row off of the top here. Because what we want to be able to do with these stone bricks is we want to place stone slabs on top of the stone bricks, but not only that, also on top of the windows too. So we want to have this sort of effect. And we want to extend these stone slabs inwards as well, towards the actual larger part of the building, like this. There we are. And then we're going to place a row of light grey concrete. It might actually be 2 rows. A row of light grey concrete inside of the stone slabs coming inwards like this. Half of the light grey will be exposed, like that. And then we're going to place an additional row of light grey concrete directly on top of this, all the way around. We're then going to place stone slabs around the top of the light grey, just like this. Maybe not just like that, like this. Then we're going to place black concrete inside the top of this, because this is also a roof area as well. One side of the building is significantly smaller than the other side of the building. You guys know which one's which. We've obviously made the larger part first. However, we are adding all of the details to this smaller part beforehand, because I figure once this part is done, then we only have to focus on one large part of the building. I'd much rather break things down that way. So that's what we have so far. It looks like a really nice part of the building. On the front and the back part of this part in particular, all you have to do is then fill in the middle of this. So you've just got to fill in one row inwards, stone bricks. That's all you got to do. Stone bricks inside of this, one row inwards. That's all you got to do. And you can do this not only on the front, but also the back as well. Just like that. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to fill in this area just up above. So this middle part here is a bit different than all of the other parts. I want you to place a row of sandstone, smooth sandstone, it's the only one we have, in between the bottom of the middle section here, like in between the two stone pillars. And we're going to raise up the left sandstone block. We're going to raise it up by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go right 1, up 1, right 2, down 1, right, connect all the way down like this. I'm going to place black stained glass pane inside of all of the empty space like this, and also the middle like that. And then the rest of this row is going to be stone bricks coming all the way up to the very top. So in between all of the empty space is simply going to be stone bricks, just like that. And you can even connect the top together, by the way, on this side at least. I'm not 100% on the other sides until I have a look, but on this side you can connect all of that together using stone bricks. And I'm even going to fill in just underneath the windows here. I'm just going to extend the black concrete in one row so that the roof actually comes to the correct place. And then these two large areas left and right of this window, I'm going to use stone bricks to fill in said large areas. This might actually take quite a while, but we want to do both sides, left and right. And then once this part of the build has been done, then of course we only have the very large... Only, I said. Only, he says. The very large area remaining. But hopefully that should be quite easy to do as well. So this side of the building right now should look exactly like that. And that is perfection, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what you are aiming for. Now, once you have completed that side, we can now move on to the front side. So the front side, the first thing that we are going to do, by the way, I think we are going to connect the entire top of this shape together. So we are going to connect all of the entire top of the shape together. We're going to be using these stone bricks for this. Just so that the shape kind of solidifies, and in doing this, you'll kind of get a sense of, like a completed shape, rather than just loads and loads and loads of pillars sprouting up from nowhere. So now you can see it seems a bit more manageable, or at least it does to me, in having a large box-like area. So once you have completed that, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you the parts of the building that can actually be completely filled in. On the front here, in the middle, actually where we've placed this red concrete, this part can be completely filled in using stone bricks. And I think it should hopefully go without saying that these stone bricks are filled in one row inwards in between all of these stone pillars, as is all of the other detail. It kind of all happens between the pillars for the build. So the front part of the build, that middle part, can be filled in. And whilst we are up here, and whilst I, still remember, a row of stone slabs should be placed on the entire top part of the build. So the much larger part of the build kind of square-like in nature. Yeah, a bit kind of square. Might even actually be a square for all I know. I've not counted it out. This all wants to have stone slabs on the top. It might actually full on be a square by the looks of things. I think it is. But that's what we want to have for that. So now that we've made the front, now that we've filled the front in, let's talk about the left side of the build. The left side of the build's even easier than the front. And the reason being, just get my plans to confirm, the reason being is that we want to fill in the left side and the right side on the left side of the build using stone bricks. So similar to what we did on the front of the actual front of the build, we want to fill in the left and right hand sides completely using stone bricks. Just like that. So that is what the left side of the build should look like. So let's come to the back side of the build now. What gets to be filled in on this side, as we've filled in all of the other sides so far? The middle part. It is the middle part. There's kind of a trend here. Wherever we have the red concrete is where we should have filled in. That might have even been easier to explain, but you guys get the idea. On the back of the build, we want to have the exact same filling in strategy. And once we have done this, we can now move on to the details associated with each one of the specific sides. I promise that there isn't much left to this tutorial other than filling in the large remaining gaps and possibly adding in a kind of like roof to this particular part of the building. So the back part of the build should look exactly like that now. Now we are going to come all the way back to the front now so that we can kind of work our way around in the exact same way. And we are going to add in the individual windows, it's not all the same, individual windows to this build. So I'm going to start literally all the way on the right here. And what you do to this section here, just this right section, you do to the left. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to start off with 3 rows of glass. 1, 2, 3. Place a stone slab on top, light grey inside, light grey on top, stone slab in front of the top of the light grey, and then 3 more glass. 1, 2, 3. Stone slab on top, light grey inside, light grey on top, stone slab coming out the top. 3 more glass. 1, 2, 3, and then a stone slab on top, light grey behind, light grey on top, stone slab in front, 3 more glass. 1, 2, 3, stone slab on top, light grey behind, light grey on top, stone slab in front of that, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is almost that part of the build. The only thing that you're going to want to do at the tops of these is you want to place back-to-back stone brick stairs right in the very tops of these parts in particular, as they look like cool little archways. And you can even jump the gun a little bit and do it to this side as well, here on the left. Just like that. See, they look really cool as little archways. But the entire point, so now that we've done this entire row, yeah, we want to do the same to all of these others as well. All of these others. And we will also be doing a very similar thing over on the other side too. It might even be easier to build from the out in. I don't know. But we'll focus on these 2 parts right now. So just make sure that these 2 sides are the same, you know, these two individual columns. We'll call them columns, why not? Make sure that they're both the same, and then we can move on to the next side. So that's what that right side looks like. The left side is almost identical. Okay, so the left side is almost identical. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these sections where we have these stone slabs and the light grey concretes, and we are going to transfer those over onto this side. So it should hopefully be quite easy to figure out. I want you to take all of the stone slabs and light grey sections, and I want you to apply them onto this side of the building. Or at least perhaps the first one. Maybe don't do it to all of them. Start off from the bottom. Copy over the first stone slab and light grey area like this. And then the rest of it is actually the exact same. So I'll tell you what, let's do this properly. Underneath where we have placed the stone slabs and the light grey, we want to fill the bottom of these in with stone bricks. This is the major difference between this side and the other side, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This side just wants to have stone bricks added in just below, whereas on the opposite side we had windows. But then it's the exact same thing over and over and over again as we place on that side. So on top of the stone slabs, for instance, will be 3 glass pane, stone slab, light grey behind and on top, stone slab in front, 3 more glass. Stone slab on top, light grey behind, light grey on top, stone slab in front. 3 more glass, stone slab, light grey behind, then on top, then stone slab. And then we're at the top. So you can see it's the exact same, which is perhaps why that felt a little bit rushed, I do apologise. But we want to do the exact same as we did on the opposite side. So just extend all of this over, and then we can move on to the next side, which is easier. So that, for instance, is the entire front complete. Once you have got that side completed, we can move over onto the other side. So we're going left, we're kind of going clockwise. Where we have this entire row of red concrete right here, we're going to destroy this and replace it with 3 rows of glass. So I'm only gonna do 1 row and then extend it all over. 3 rows of glass, ladies and gents. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna place a stone slab on top, light grey concrete behind, light grey on top, stone slab in front. 3 glass on top, stone slab on top, grey behind, then on top, stone slab in front, 3 glass on top, stone slab on top, light grey behind, light grey on top, and then stone slab on top of that. So you can see pretty much the exact, you know what, I think we'll add another one of those because we're a bit short. And then 3 more glass pane, 1 more stone slab, light grey behind, light grey on top, and then, there we go, stone slab on top. Then that's much better. So that's what we want to have there, except we want to, of course, extend it all across. And the pattern might seem familiar, and that's because it is. We're going to place upside down stone brick stairs in the top 2 corners as well to kind of make it an archway. And then we're just going to extend all these materials across, ladies and gents. That's all we've got to do. So let's do exactly that. So that is what that particular side of the building wants to look like once you have added all of that in. Now, once you have done that, all we have left to do is the back side of this building. And it should be fairly simple, ladies and gents, because we are going to be copying this part of the building. The very first part that we did. The exact same thing across the entire back, all of these sections. And I'm willing to show you once, and then we're just going to have to get cracking on with this. So it's this. You start from the bottom, 3 glass pane, stone slab, light grey behind, then on top, stone slab in front, 3 glass pane, stone slab on top, light grey behind, then on top. Stone slab in front, 3 glass pane, stone slab on top, light grey behind, then on top. Stone slab in front, 3 glass coming up, stone slab on top, light grey behind, light grey on top, and then stone slab in front. And by the time you have reached that point, that is all you have to do. Except, of course, we are also going to be adding stone brick stairs inside the tops of these. Exact same as we did on the front, by the way. The back is in many ways very parallel to the front here. And then all I've got to do is just extend these from one side all the way to the other side. And we've just got to do the same thing basically over and over and over again. There we go, so once you've done that on that side, of course, just transfer it over to this side. So that is what you want to have for the back of the building, and in doing that you will have actually completed 4 sides of the build. The only thing that you may want to do from this point onwards is add a roof area. So the roof is very simple. All you got to do is place a layer of black concrete, maybe even mix in some light grey around the edges too. Black concrete, light grey concrete to the top of the build where you have all of these open windows. So it should hopefully be quite intuitive where you've got to add these. I'll clean this up after I've done it, and by clean it up I mean like I'll add some light grey and stuff. I'll make it so that the roof doesn't look so goofy, and I'll add some stone bricks and stuff. But this is where I'm going to be adding the roof, and I would highly recommend you doing it as well. As a matter of fact, I might even snap this out, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. So something like this is quite good for the roof. If you just place light grey concrete around the edges, black concrete in between. If you like, of course, you can add ways to get up and down the floors and stuff. But this is just a rough build. I'm not trying to make it 100% perfect exactly. You know, we just want it nice and detailed enough that you guys, of course, do recognize this to be Trump Tower from Tilted Towers. Now, the only thing that I would recommend from this point as well, by the way, this is the last thing I would recommend doing. You don't even have to if you don't want to. I am going to place a perimeter of 3 stone slabs going around the entire building. Meaning I'm going to have 3 stone slabs, 3 rows all the way around, no matter where you walk around it. So let me do that, and then I will be back once it's been done. By the way, it takes a lot longer than you might imagine. So this is what I mean by the stone slab perimeter. If you place a row of 3 stone slabs all the way around the building, it really does make it pop a little bit more. And of course, please do also remember, if you're going to do this, to place them in between all of the pillars at the base of the tower as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, is that. We've finally finished it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button. That was a really big build, and if you've made it all the way this far, please do hit that like and share the video with a friend. Sharing is caring. If you would like to subscribe and keep up to date with all of my future Fortnite posts and whatever else I get up to on the channel, please subscribe. Click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you got my stuff sent directly to your sub box. And if you do want to make any more Fortnite builds or any sort of builds in general, we'll kind of do loads of stuff around my 2 channels, then please check out the card system and the description below. I would, of course, recommend the Fortnite builds playlist. You know, we've got a few things in there. You can probably see a nice spread of it in the back of me right now. But that's pretty much everything, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this video has probably ran quite long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!